What's going on, everybody, man? It's been a minute. I'm just walking through here, man, through the neighborhood, bro, and walking through Hotel Yorba, man. You know, if everyone knows about this place, man, it's from Southwest. If you don't know the Hotel Yorba, bro, you ain't from the hood. But yeah, man, this by what I believe, the Hotel Yorba is set to come down, man, sometime in the summertime, man. Which yeah, brings down another Southwest Detroit kind of gem, I guess. But God, I'm surprised there's no one around here at all. But yeah, man, wow. I've had some encounters in the Hotel Yorba, man, when I was younger. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You know, my mom's used to be up in here sometimes, and a couple times I stood here, bro. We actually lived in the Hotel Yorba back in 1992. Man, I gotta say, this place was not, you know, I thought there was a fountain out here before, man. Maybe that's that Mandela effect, but I swear there was a mountain here before. I mean, water fountain. I thought it was like a water fountain here before, man, but I thought it was over there somewhere. So one time, man, this Hotel Yorba, man, in the early 90s, I could never understand why it was so beat up, bro. I mean, there's a lot of these places like this in Detroit, though. Hotel Yorba ain't the only one, man. God, I don't know none off the top of my head, but yeah, this is about to be set to come down. Notice of building closure. God, when they close this building, I wonder. So I go around there. Yeah, rooms for rent. A lot of people, man, basically after the Y closed down in the early 90s over there, man, they used to house, you know, people, you know, coming out to corrections, you know, three-quarter house, I think they were called. Halfway house is commonly known as halfway houses. But yeah, Hotel Yorba, man, was, after the YMCA closed down, man, the Hotel Yorba basically took a spot for like three-quarter housing, you know, rooms for rent, you know, man. Yeah, but fucked up stories, man. Yeah, man, this was not a regular hotel like that, man. Notice the closure. Oh, I'm just checking this stuff out. Vacant order. When did all this happen? I want to make sure nothing falls on my head. Notice a building closure. Okay, yeah. The 25th. The right there building. Yeah. Order. I think it was on the news too, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, I actually had a girlfriend that lived in here, man. And we were young. This was like 96. And we were like, you know, she stayed here with her mom. I just come, you know, see her and shit. But it says for sale, man, but I'm pretty sure it's coming down. Or people bought it and it's coming down. Like, this is another nice house, man. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I mean, I know a lot of people from the neighborhood familiar with the Hubbard Farms area, but you know, Hubbard Farms back in the day used to be nice house. I used to actually live in this apartment building, man. It's the other side of the Hotel Yorba. I used to live down the street on Hubbard. And back in those days, man, you know, we stayed here, we stayed at, you know, the Hotel Yorba, but then we also, you know, this was my mother's area, man. She came up around this area. I mean, not came up, she, you know, my mom's from New York, so You know, when she came over, man, she made basically like the Boulevard and Vernon area her little domain. Before we went to Puerto Rico, we lived down 25th and Howard, and then, you know, when we came back, you know, it was always around Palm. She lived on the Boulevard and Porter area. Yeah. But the Hubbard Farms area, back in my day when I used to live over here, they always had these beautiful homes. But this was like straight up Cobra hood. It was folk hood. Always folk hood. Never outside of folk hood. This was always GDs. Well, no, not so much GDs. I think SGDs started off around this area first with the 25th Boys there, you know, on 25th Street. This was all folk hood, and it became the DOCs. But this area always had nice homes. They always had these, what you call these kinds of houses, man, Victorian style houses. They always had the little, I call it the little princess and the little princess room. See, a lot of them houses got that here. I call it the little princess booth. I think there was a story back in the day where she threw her hair out and someone climbed up, her man climbed up. But that's what these little castle-like, comb-like homes, you know, resemble to me. So, and if you go on a boulevard, you see a lot of these nice houses too. Well, the Hubbard Farms area. This is, you know, like I said, known as the Hubbard Farms area, and does always have nice homes, but some of them have went out, man, like, you know, deteriorated and you know, and people couldn't, you know, save them or whatever. But yeah, it's a shame because there's a lot of them like that. I'll show you the one right now. But yeah, look at this building, man. It's like these buildings, and dude, that's a terrace townhouse. Like, man, gorgeous. So this area was basically gentrified. I think it's always been kind of gentrified, but not always gentrified because, you know, stuff still goes down. But yeah, beautiful area. Peaceful area until you get to about right here. Back in the day, it used to be back in the day over here used to be, I used to live in this building coming up. This other building, big building across the street from the one we lived at. That was like the New Jack City building back in the 90s. Yeah, but this area has always been like that. Always been well kept. Always been, so that's why I wonder. It's always been like kind of gentrified. Now this is a nice little hookup here. This is a nice little hookup. Hi. How you doing? What's that? Good. That's beautiful. Someone said hi. I didn't even see them say hi. But yeah. I used to live in this building when I was a kid. How you doing? Yeah, I used to live in this building when I was a kid, so yeah. Back in the day, man, this was a little nice building. And it still looks nice right now, Hubbard Manor. Me and my mother lived in this building for years. And like I told, this building right here was like almost the New Jack City building. Back in the day, like everything used to go down in this building, man. The other building, I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna, you know, explain what happened there. But yeah, this building, me and my mother lived in this building. It was studio apartments. And like I said, man, this used to be like pure folk hood, bro, back in the day. You know, and I'm being a count. This is the early 90s. And man, I used to sneak out the back over there and go straight across Clark Park to where all my friends used to be at over there. Yeah. I'll go around there when these houses, these terraces, real nice. But back in the day, man, like the head of the folks used to live in this building. The head of the folks around this area used to live in these terraces back in the day. There should be a few of them around here, actually, man. I could not go to the store. I could not, because this was like all folk Cobra Hood and DOC 25th. Like, I remember it started off with SGD. It seemed like back when I was living here in the early 90s, bro, it was like, I used to see a lot of SGD taggings, particularly in this building. And then after that start turning, it'd be like Cobras, and then after the Cobras, DOC. But the 25th boys always around. See, yeah. These buildings. Now this building was closed for a long time, for almost 10 years, and a lot of shit happened in this building, bro. Like, you know, a lot of stuff happened in this building, man. A dude got killed right there. So yeah, Hubbard Farms area, yeah. But back in the gangbang 90s, this was a real active area, bro, for the folks in particular. Now, I remember some stuff jumped off in this building, bro, coming up here. I had friends that lived in this building too, you know, when I was younger. God, it's beautiful. There used to be a real big building here back in the day. And yeah, they tore that building down, I think like in the mid 2000s. And so this is a garden. I think we can go in. Can we? Hubbard Community Garden. Hubbard Farms Community Garden. Like I said, back in the day, there used to be a building here, bro. It used to be slapping, bro. The Cubans ran it, basically. And, yeah. My friend's mom dated one of them. We were younger, you know, we were kids. I think we could come in here, right? Yeah. This is nice, man. So they tore the building down, like I said, sometime in the mid 2000s, and yeah, they turned it into a garden. I'm just now seeing that it became a garden. You know what? I planted some garlic. Let me see if it's gonna be the same. Yeah. Real nice, bro. Beautiful community garden. Wow. Beautiful. Nice. I mean, I don't think it does you much justice for the sun when it gets real blazing hot, but if you're a garden head, yeah. So yeah, real nice. When the gentrification stuff started happening, Hubbard Farms was like the center of it. This is where a lot of people was coming to. And now I believe the homes here are like, whew, rent homes, but to rent one or even rent these apartments, I think they're kind of costly now. Which brings me the story to these apartment buildings, bro. Now, here, these buildings right here, I'm surprised they ain't tear these down. But, yeah, 5 people were burned to death in this building. And something about the Cobras had something to do with it back in the day. I don't know, but a guy had to jump out the window. The only survivor jumped out the window off the side. Oh man, I hate it. Yeah. Gates open, but yeah, man, let me. Yeah. So over here, man, these apartments. Up there, I believe it was that one on the top, man, up there. 1, 2, 3, 31, bro. Yeah. There was a fire. I believe they were selling drugs there, and some guy, you know, it was like a clash thing. But yeah, 4 people got burnt into death. One person had, you know, he untied himself and jumped out the window. So like, yeah. But this area is real nice. I wonder if I can come out through here. This would be perfect if I could. This Western International High School coming up. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I got a story about behind that little thing right there back in the day, but I'm gonna keep that one to myself. Anyways, it didn't involve me anyways, but it ain't nothing crazy, but yeah. Woo, a little dog in Western. What's it doing in Western? Oh. Yeah. Door 26. This is an extension right here that just added to Western. But yeah. Man, I used to go through the alleys constantly. I walked up and down these alleys as a kid. I had to because, you know, it was risky walking through the alleys, but when I had to come home, I had to come, you know, I used to cut through here to Clark Park, man. Like, it wasn't hard. I mean, these guys literally used to be right here on the corner, deep as hell. This whole little strip down here, bro. You know, they'll be on like that corner, you know, this corner. They used to be coming all around, man. This was deep folk hood back in the day. Like, it was fucking. You know what I'm saying? You know, anyone that knows the early 90s in this area right here in the gangbang 90s, it was all folk hood. But building, like I said, when one of the heads just lived in this building, a matter of fact over there, but right here they might have changed it up. Y'all come out that back door. Yeah, so I come out that little back door. I want to go down this alley. This alley's a dead end. But I just come straight through there and cut through Earhart. So I come out through the back door like this, walk down here. And my head used to be on a swivel, bro. Like, looking around, like, you know. Huh, some. Yeah. Clark Court. That's the only reason I know that name coming through here all the time. You tell people living on Clark Court or Clark Court Street, they wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Nice murals. Why should come cut through here? Earhart wasn't this big. Or was it? I don't remember much about Earhart. Why should cut through here? Walk down here. Y'all just come out that back door, walk through all here. It wasn't hard because you figured there wouldn't be no one around here because of the school. Back then, the school be policed by the school, so you know, people wasn't trying to hang out in front of the police and shit. Then, you know, my mom didn't like that gangbanging stuff, so basically I didn't have colors like that. So, you know, and plus it was earlier, you know, I was, 13, 14, so at that time there wasn't really, unless you was obviously with them, which I always was, which they always would put me over, but they knew. Yeah, hard. Yeah, I would cut through here, man. Cut through here, go through here, and basically you're in the hood. My hood, at least, Cause back in the day, man, a lot of brothers, all the counts used to be over there on Christmas. So all around here, basically, bro. Yeah. Walk through here, man. My homie lived in them red buildings over there. Like I said, me and my mom used to live in them apartment buildings in Clark too. So I had friends around this area. This was where all my friend circle was at anyways, was this area, even the ones that wasn't banging. Because I really came up, when I started making friends, it was around this area right here when we lived on Clark and Porter back in the day. Clark and Porter. So, cut through here, man, basically. But yeah, man, that hood, that Hubbard Farms, man, was, yeah. Like I said, anyone who knows from the hood back in the early 90s, that was all folk hood. And yeah. Look, Clark Park, baseball diamonds, man. Particularly that one over there, they made it real nice, but Clark Park Center. Just play baseball out of here. They say the same guy still runs a baseball program here named Morris Blackwell. He used to be the gym teacher in Chatsey High School. They say he still runs the program here for baseball, man. I just joking. But yeah, I used to live in that building over there too, 1185 Clark Street. Back in 91, 90, 92, lived over there on Hubbard and Hubbard Farms, But yeah, my mom's area was between Clark and Porter. That was her domain, her hood. And we had to, if we was staying with her, because we was living all over the place, me and my brother. But if we stayed with her, we had to make up the fact that basically she's gonna be somewhere in folk hood, and basically we had to learn to be a certain way around that area, Yeah, my boy used to live in an apartment building right here. The terraces with the grass here. Just nothing. I lived in them buildings right there. But yeah, man, I just want to do, I know it's been a while, I was gonna do a quick video, man, and that's it. Let's go back to working out, man. So Southwest Detroit out, man. Subscribe and like or whatever. All right, brother. Peace.